Check. 1, 2. Here we go. This is going to be a fun episode. I know that Mike said that he is already ready. So, without further ado, let's get into it. I'm pumped. Let's get that phone call. There it is.
What is shaking, bacon?
What's up?
Fucking living the dream, my friend. Living the dream.
I am particularly excited about this episode.
Are you?
I am. I'm
pretty stoked.
Just because, like, I feel like this is a topic that's always on people's mind, or like, you know, even if you're not a nut, like just a fucking psychopath, like it's still something that you think about, is it not?
I mean, it's definitely ingrained in our culture. I think it's something that people have been thinking about since, like, the dawn of, since, like, people were, like, old enough to have thoughts, or, like, not old enough, but, like, I guess developed enough to have thoughts of, like existentialism.
Right.
People have thought about this. I love how we're teasing it and not giving it away. By the way, welcome to Stuff You Wouldn't Say Out Loud, episode 69.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting there. I don't know where we're at, honestly, if this is 11 or 12. Oh! Let me say, I'm feeling much better from a week ago. I think you can hear it in my voice.
Better.
Yeah.
You've done much better.
Yeah. But
I
also...
think I'm sounding worse, but feeling okay. Like,
oh, really?
Like, I sound, I mean, I feel okay, but, like, I still am, like, super congested. Like,
yeah, I'm left with a lingering cough now.
Bit. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, let's just all hope maybe it was the corona and it just was a very mild form, and now I'm immune.
There you go. See, I was thinking the same thing. It's like, has anyone ran tests to see, like, oh, that person is immune now, or that person can't get it again 3 weeks from now? Is that...
I think the only way that it would not work out that way, well, no, I don't know, because people get seasonal colds and they just keep getting them. I don't know, you might be able to re-get it. Yeah. I know there was some patients in Wuhan, that once they had
I think it's called Wu-Tang Clan.
Wu-Tang Clan. They tested positive, obviously, initially, and then after, 18 days, 20 days, they no longer tested positive. And then, on the 28th day, after a while, they tested positive again.
Oh, fuck, really?
So, yeah. So, because I know now they're having isolation for 28 days as opposed to 14 days in China for people who test positive.
Damn.
So, at least that's my understanding, yeah.
See, that'll be the interesting thing. It's like, okay, the percentage of living through it is, odds are in your favor. However, you get it a second time. Come on. That's on you.
And honestly, what worries me more is, people who are hit with other things like the seasonal flu, right? And then that back
and
to
then
back.
Exactly.
I think that's going to be
Yeah.
That's going to be because right now, at least in my area, being in healthcare, we are slammed with influenza A. We have so much influenza A going around
it's that
right
time
now.
of year here.
I have a facility that is that I sometimes go to. Right now it's in complete lockdown. They're not accepting any visitors. They're not accepting anyone because they're in complete isolation because so many patients have influenza A.
And they just want
to
make sure that it is that and only that is that.
Well, and that it just we don't spread the influenza. Because I mean,
sure.
With our I mostly work with older population nowadays, and I mean they obviously that could be a death
it's
sentence
an ender.
Just getting the flu.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that can turn to pneumonia, which can very quickly, like I said, that can be a game ender for older folks, or immunocompromised people, immunodeficient people. But yeah.
It's really interesting stuff. Actually, I had a work from home day this past Friday because of Corona, which I think at this point is not giving away my location, but yeah, it was interesting because it was like, well, you know, like, what? A fucking Friday, but I have to come back on Monday. Like, okay, all right, yeah, no, this is gonna solve it. and who's gonna come in over the weekend and fucking clear the joint? Like, what are we talking about?
Right.
So
exactly.
It's just so like, whatever. I mean, obviously, I wasn't gonna pass up, like, you know, quote unquote working from home, because like there's enough that I can do, but like I know like guys under me that I look over, like, dude, there's next to nothing because like that they can do. Like, so whatever. Without giving away too much, it's just like, well, it's a long weekend for them, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy too, because like a lot of people can work from home, but like being in the medical field, we are the one. Like I'm the one on the front lines. Like I'm the one getting called in because shit's gone down. Like if shit goes down, I'll be the one. You're the one. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they're already talking about. Other countries are already doing it. They're already talking about mandating like anyone who's a nurse or doctor to work in hospitals. Like if we were to have like an outbreak like this in China here in the U.S.
Sure.
Which, just in my professional opinion, looking into this, because I've looked into it quite a bit, just because it very much affects me. Like, I've become borderline obsessed with it, which probably isn't healthy. But
it's probably not healthy at all. I've tried to keep my distance, because it's impossible to keep your distance. It's impossible to ignore it, and that's all I've been trying to do. Because
it's everywhere.
However, also that's doing myself an injustice, because I inevitably hear about it, but it's only the fucking crazy cuckoo people that I hear about it from. They're just like, we're gonna see martial law soon, and like, I mean, maybe, you know, like,
yeah, I mean, we might see medical martial law. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
But I don't think anyone's getting their head shot off like in front of my house.
No,
like, you know, like,
no. I think it's gonna be like, at worst case scenario, it's gonna be, in my opinion, absolute worst case scenario. They're gonna say, you know, mandatory isolation for, you know, 2 to 3 weeks, except for healthcare workers. And at the absolute worst, if you're out driving, like, and you get pulled over and you're not a nurse, they're going to send you back home, or a doctor. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to. I think that would be the absolute worst case scenario. You know what I mean?
That'd be an interesting world to live in. I mean, you know, we'll see what happens, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be alarmist to anyone, but I mean, like, and like I said, I've probably been consuming more of this media than I need to.
Yeah.
But...
Did you see Elon Musk, what he said?
No.
He said the coronavirus panic is dumb. Plain and simple. That's it.
See, I don't know. Here's the thing. Here's what I think about this. So, if people who are panicking about this are right, okay, and it does become endemic, then, like, it'll be good that we panicked, right? And people were over safe, right? If it doesn't, I don't see. The only possible downfall I see in being over-prepared is the effect that it's having on the stock market.
Well, I was going to say, it's almost a complete recession here. Like, it's getting there.
Which sucks.
It's getting there.
Ultimately, if I'm going to roll the dice over losing a ton of money or being dead because of an endemic, like, I'll take losing all the money. You know what I mean?
Who's going to die, though? Who's going to die?
Dude, I mean, let's say even, I did the math, and I don't remember what it is, but I mean, just like think of, let's say 60% of, or we'll say on the lower side, 40% of the population of the U.S. becomes infected, because that's a serious number that, like, very, very smart people are saying, right? Like, anywhere between 40 and 60%, right? So 40% of the U.S. gets infected. Then let's say 3%, because they're saying between 2 and 3% mortality rate, like they call it the CFR, right? Case fatality rate.
Right.
If we see that 3%, so we have 325 million people in the U.S. We take 40% of that, and that's still millions of people, dude. Like, that's still a shit fucking ton. Like, more people than we have seen killed. Like, the problem with this one is, and I'm not going to...
Again, that's like blanket numbers. There is somewhere, I wish I saw it, there is an article that broke it down of if you are 70 and older, percent chance of dying from this is 15%.
15%.
Oh, what I saw 15%. Was... Yeah, that sounds right. And then it said like, if you are in your 50s or 60s, it broke it down like that, and it was like, well, okay, all right then. Like that's
right, and it's not going to be like the younger folks that are probably going to be.
No, but even still,
even
still, dude, if I'm 75 and I saw 15% chance, like I'm like, well, at least it's not 50-50. Wait, you say no good? I say, well, like, phew, all right. I gotta.
Yeah, dude. In disease terms, in pathophysiology terms, or like pathology terms, like epidemiology terms, I guess I should say. I'm trying to find like the right like course that it would be, but like, dude, like that is extremely high. That's very, very high. Like, we do not come across diseases that have that high of a mortality. Now, obviously, that's not the overall, but still, even 3% is a lot. It's not a ton, but it's a lot. Like, compared to, like, other things. It's not like Ebola, where it's like 50%, but, like, Ebola's kind of the outlier. That's why I hate when people compare it to Ebola.
No, I don't think it's
Ebola's
comparable.
Very much an outlier.
Ebola's one that I am absolutely afraid of. Like, that is insane to me.
But the problem with Ebola is very hard to contract. It has a very low, like, the two things they look at when they determine how deadly, or like how possibly deadly a disease is going to be, is that CFR number we were just talking about, and then something called the R naught, which basically what that is like an average of how many people one person would infect, right? So like they look at how many people are infected by like everyone, you know what I mean? And they get like an average number.
Sure.
So like Ebola would be, it's very, very low. It's like 1 to 2, I think is what it is. Like 1 to 2 people at the most. Like,
okay,
this
so,
is
but
much
like,
higher.
Right, so,
this is like
so,
up to 7 people.
Yeah. So like, whatever. My thing is, so like, if I'm 75 years old and it says that I have a 15% chance of dying, is that number should be scary, because that's not necessarily that, like, okay, 15% chance of dying from this, so I can overcome this, but this is going to make my immune system so weak that I am left susceptible to other things. Is that more accurate?
I mean, that would be a big concern too. And also think about it, like when we're talking 15%.
I just don't understand, like 15%, like that's...
Okay, that's more than 1 out of 10. So imagine a nursing facility that has 70 people. Like, that's 1 out of every 10 people, more than that, are going to die.
That's fair. Yeah.
Like, when you think about it like that, I mean, like, you have a room full of 10 people, 1 of those people are dead from that disease.
In a room full of 10 people, I usually don't like at least 1.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, if we could pick and choose, then we'd send the asshole to the death by coronavirus.
All right, but so listen, I mean, what all this talk is right here, we are like 13 minutes into talking corona. What this is catapulting people into rushing to stores to buy just bulk fucking toilet paper, Purell. I got a thing of Purell off the gas station counter today, and it was like, really? Mm-hmm. You have that? Like, and it was the last one. I was like, no, I bought it just because I don't want the next asshole to buy it. Like, I bought it just because, like, I needed it, not because I'm going to shower in it like everyone else. But ultimately, it is sending people into this, like, almost this doomsday type of prep. And that's what this whole episode is about. After, you know, if
we're talking apocalypse today,
right? and so one version of that is something like the coronavirus kind of sweeping the fucking nation, and people doing what they can to buy enough supplies to live for 2 weeks worth or whatever inside their house. But like, so what I want to do with you is figure out, because there's so many different types of, like, so doomsday prepping is I feel like a large kind of area to cover, right? Because it's like, are we prepping for a nuclear warfare? Are we prepping for the coronavirus? What, like, let's specify, you and I, what is it that we would be prepping for?
Well, and I thought that would be, but that was kind of one of the things I wanted to bring to the table today, is like, maybe like we should talk about like what are the most like like the most possible forms of doomsday, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are the
Yeah.
most possible ways that we could be wiped out? Like,
most
the biggest
popular
existential crises.
Most popular would be just the nuclear warfare.
Yeah, I actually have the 12 most. I have an article here that's the 12 most likely causes of.
No way!
Of an apocalypse. Yes, yep. And this is from the New Zealand Herald, and it's from an Oxford study. Because there's actually a group, and I've heard of this before. I'm gonna plug another. Since we're talking about Doomsday, I'm gonna plug a great podcast series, a short one. It's called End of the World with Josh Clark. And he breaks down every episode is based on a different existential crisis that we face. So really cool article. And he talked a lot with these people called the Future of Humanity Institute. And basically what these people do is they sit around all day. Their job is to think about existential crises to humanity and how we would face those problems. That's all they do. That's their job. And I'm sorry if my voice sounds kind of funny if it's going out. Like I said, I still got this funny voice thing going on. So bear with me here. But so I'm going to run through these, and these are the 12 most common, or like the most likely causes of the end of the world, basically. So first one, and I want to just like start by saying this article was written in, let's see here. This was before, I just want to say this is before the whole coronavirus thing.
Sure.
But the first one is actually, okay, so the first one is actually global pandemic, though. That is the most likely cause. So they said that an apocalyptic disease would be incurable, like Ebola, almost always fatal, like rabies, because rabies actually has the highest, people don't realize this, but rabies has the highest mortality rate in man if it's not treated.
Sure.
And extremely infectious, like the common cold.
Now,
and the scary thing about this is, and this is just something I got from that podcast, was there's something like, I forget, there's over 200 of these like super secure facilities that are allowed to hold these like viruses, and that's it in the entire world. There's 200, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you think about 200 facilities that hold
200,
over 200,
that's insane.
Okay, facilities that hold these viruses that like man has never even seen before. They bioengineer viruses like, that are the most virulent, dude. And listen to this. Every one of them, like if you were to average it out, everyone would have 3 to 4, like what they call security breaches, like every year. That means in some point they have broken like the infection control process of getting in and out of the lab. That means somebody's walked out like without contaminating. Dude, yeah, it's terrifying.
What the fuck?
On that, the statistics are terrifying on that.
And so they're purposely creating these ridiculous diseases.
Yes. Ones that man has never seen. Dude, it would make the coronavirus look like chump change.
Oh, my God. Dude. Now, do they have cures for the... I mean, like, obviously not to start... That's insane. Whatever. Go on.
Them,
go on. Go on. Yeah, go on.
So anyways, yeah, so that's the first one. And I mean, I always thought that would be the most likely one. Yeah, that's the highest on the list is global pandemic.
So is that like... I'm sorry. So are those 200 places, is that like the CDC? Like something like that?
They would probably be one of those labs, yeah. And it's just these research labs that, like, you have to have a special clearance to store diseases, like to store, you know what I mean, like these different extremely virulent, deadly diseases. Yeah, dude, insane. Like, they brought back the Spanish flu, dude. Like, they recreated the Spanish flu, and they have it, like, after it died out. Yeah, dude. Like, so in a Petri dish somewhere, there is this alive, not like a dead version, a live version of the Spanish flu. Just hanging out.
I want to see a superhero movie where it's just, like, it's this fucking Mexican woman who's just the night shift cleaning crew, and she just goes in and douses this shit in bleach. And that's it. That's the whole movie.
Like, dude, yeah, she just goes in and she's like, fuck you, Spanish. Yeah, dude. Dude, like, ironically, the Spanish flu wasn't even named because of, like, the only reason was it was called the Spanish flu is because everybody else was engaged in World War I. Spain was neutral, so while everybody else was reporting, it was everywhere, but nobody else was reporting on it because they didn't want to make their country seem weak. And Spain was the only one reporting on it. Yeah, so that's why it was called the Spanish flu, actually.
That's interesting.
Yep.
Go on. Number 2.
Okay. Number 2 is supervolcano. That is there.
Number 2.
Mm-hmm.
No shit.
Yep, they say it would be bad. One would be capable of producing an eruption 1,000 times larger than normal. And that's like, think about Yellowstone. That would be a super volcano.
Yep.
And, dude, that scares me, honestly. Like, if that were to erupt, like, literally the crater would be like one-third of the United States.
That's crazy.
Right? Dude, insane.
I'd like to see a map of that. I guess I never really knew that.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. If you want to, dude, any of these subjects, if you want to dive into, just like expect that you're not going to sleep for like a solid week because it's terrifying, dude.
Wait, so
like these.
Quick fix to the supervolcano is you live in a hot air balloon.
Well, see, the problem here is that it would cause what's called a volcanic winter. And it basically, it would go so high up into the atmosphere that it would block out the sun's rays, dude. And it would be like an ice age, basically.
This is coming from college geeks that are saying this, or just some fucking nerds in their mom's basement?
No, this is like legit, like college geeks. This is Oxford college geeks.
Because that sounds like Dungeons and Dragons shit.
No, this is like, this is legit. This would happen for sure. Yeah. Yep.
All right. Go on.
So next one is my personal favorite, just because I despise it so much, and I go on and on about it. Artificial intelligence.
Really? Number 3.
And honestly, I don't think I'm going to talk a lot about this because I think we could do a whole episode on artificial intelligence. We could.
We were just recently given a one of the Google Home Nest things. Let me tell you, this fucking cunt is so dumb. It's unbelievable. It's like it's mind-boggling, like, that they're allowed to sell these things. I'm glad we got it for fucking free because I am just like, you are the dumbest fucking woman.
Dude, that's fucking yeah, dude. I do not like it. So obviously, like, the whole idea here is that, like, once there's what's called the singularity, like, where the artificial intelligence becomes aware of itself, like, then it's going to be more concerned with, well, it depends on, like, what we program it to do.
Sure.
But, I mean, basically the whole idea here is, like, it could easily wipe us out, no problem, because it's, like, self-thinking and it just gets smarter.
That's the thing. That's the thing behind it is the actual, the actual terminology or the definition of artificial intelligence is the idea that it is able to kind of get smarter and smarter and learn from others and learn from its mistakes, and that sort of, like, that's the frightening thing.
Like, it can just build smarter and smarter versions of itself, like, at an exponential rate like nothing we've ever seen before. And, like, here's the best way I've ever heard it described, and this was by, like, a legit person.
Yeah.
Like, when we think of artificial intelligence, we think of it like being us against, like, Einstein, right? Like, that smart, right?
Yeah.
And this scientist said, like, that's not at all what it would be like. It would be like Einstein being the artificial intelligence and us being ants. Like, that's how much smarter. Like, we couldn't comprehend how much smarter it would be than us. And he said, like, what would make us think that Einstein would care anything about the ants?
Hope.
You know what I mean? Like,
hope.
Right. Like, we could hope that he would, but I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, why would it care anything about us? It would care about its own agenda, right? Like,
yeah, I'd be interested. Like, then you're making up an agenda, though. Like, what's the what could possibly be the agenda other than to help us?
Well, here's the thing. So let's say we designed an artificial intelligence, and we said, Joey, the artificial intelligence, your goal, we're going to program you to help humans, like, to make humans happy and healthy, right? Okay, let's just say that.
Yep.
Like, we want humanity, all humanity, to be happy and healthy. What an artificial intelligence would probably do, because it would be the easiest and most efficient way to make sure, would be to round up all the humans, put them in under sedation, pump them full of endorphins that makes our brains happy.
I mean, this is all,
and
again,
monitor.
this is your idea of that.
This is not. I'm actually kind of stealing this from, like, this was something another scientist said, like, speaking about artificial intelligence. Look up, if you ever. I'm not gonna, like, because I said I don't want to go on and on about this, but look up the paperclip theory with artificial intelligence. Just look that up, and dude, that explains it a lot better than I'll be able to. Like, basically, like, whatever agenda we give them, like, they say in order for us to make an artificial intelligence, we would have to make an artificial intelligence just to figure out the best way to program an artificial intelligence to help us and not hurt us.
Right.
Like, dude, it's intense. It's a deep rabbit hole, like I said. Just look up the paperclip theory. I'm telling you. Just check that out.
I don't know. Maybe I'm naive, I guess, in this, but I mean, I'm telling you, this Google Home thing's fucking retarded. Like, I'm not as
Home is not at all going to be.
I'm not as concerned about AI just yet. So I do not agree with it being number 3 overall. But go on. Let's go to number 4.
I was going to say, after we do our full podcast on it, I promise you will be. Okay, so number 4, extreme climate change. So, again, I don't think we need to talk a lot about this, because it's pretty, like, it's in the social zeitgeist. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that we need to, obviously, global warming.
It's coming! It's coming!
Right.
It's here!
Dude.
Oh, we had a very odd winter, but I feel like that's the way it's going year after year, which I think is signs. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about this one. This one isn't one I've done a ton of research on. So, but like I said, there's a lot of, like, data you can look up on that. So I'm just going to leave that to the audience to check out.
Yeah.
So this one is one that I'm not super.
It's number 6.
Super familiar with. It's synthetic biology.
This is number 6.
This is number 6.
Okay.
No, number 5.
Wait.
Okay, so synthetic biology is genetic engineering of superorganisms that could be beneficial for humanity. But the release of a superorganism that targets humans or a crucial part of the ecosystem could end in disaster. It could be either accidentally leaked, unintentionally from a lab, or deliberately in the cases of biowarfare or bioterrorism.
This was called what again?
The impact could be worse than synthetic biology.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So there's that one. Asteroid is number 6.
Okay, so hold on. Pause for a second here, because I feel like number 1 and number 5 are similar, right? And I feel like, I feel like number 2 and number 4 are similar.
What's number 2?
The volcano.
Super volcano. Kind of, but I mean, I don't know, not really. I mean, like, obviously the world.
Yeah, because if it shoots up high enough and it affects the climate, like that, what? Yeah, it's similar.
Yeah, but this is separate. Okay, so similar. Okay, similar, but definitely not the same.
And then robots are still retards. So let's go to number 6.
Okay, so
Asteroid, yeah, fair.
Here you go. Yep.
Who the fuck is?
They said that with a object size 5 kilometers or more, which happens about once every 20 million years, would have the energy of 100,000 times greater than the largest bomb ever detonated. Crazy.
Yeah. Likely.
Space is a scary motherfucker, dude. Ecological collapse. I feel like that is that's similar to global warming. A complete breakdown of the global ecosystem leading to mass extinctions. How is that different than global warming?
Say it one more time. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Ecological collapse.
Ecological collapse. That is, that, yeah, same shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know about this one. Okay, nanotechnology. So this is manufacturing on an atomic level that could create create materials with new properties, such as being highly resilient or smart. And I guess it could make some good things for us. Like it says that it could problems, including the depletion of natural resources, pollution, climate change, clean water, and even poverty. But it could also lead to the creation of large arsenals of conventional or more novel weapons made possible by atomically precise manufacturing. How do you feel about that?
What was it called again? The overall.
You with me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Oh, fuck. Can you hear me? Hello? Oh, there we go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, hey, holy shit, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, what the fuck happened, dude? Are you that sad about nanotechnology that you just bounced, dude? You're like, fuck this is too much.
No, I actually ran into audio problems. I think it's the robots. I don't know what the fuck happened, but...
Dude, you're talking shit about AI, dude, and they know. They know.
Google Home's getting on my shit.
Not happy, dude. Not happy with your shit at all, no. So, I don't know, dude. I don't know how I feel about it. Did you hear me read that shit or no?
Yeah. I did, but not like cause I was trying to fidget with the levels here. So, but it was ultimately what? Try and do a quick rundown here.
So basically, making atomic level like machines that could like essentially help like clean up things, like stop pollution, climate change, but also could be used as a weapon, like nanotechnology that could be used as a weapon. Essentially. Sure. Okay.
Well, but that would be if it was used as a weapon. That would be by man, man's choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes. Next one, nuclear war. So that one again, I don't know that we need to.
What number is nuclear war?
It's down there, dude. It's like 7 or 8.
That's insane to me. That's insane to me.
Yeah. Well, I think here's the thing: is that if a nuclear war happened, it would probably be 1 or 2 nukes sent, and then that would be enough where people are like call it off. Like, I think that, and that wouldn't destroy the world. That would suck for sure. But we've dropped plenty of nukes on the planet. You know what I mean? Like, it would have to be an all-out, like, every country sending their nukes. Like, I mean, these are, like, mass-level extinction events. Like, not just bad news things happening.
Yeah.
But, like, this is, like, it would wipe out all of humanity.
Right. But
so I'm thinking they're thinking if there's nuclear war, even if it was bad, there would still be pockets of humanity left. You know what I mean? Usually.
Yeah.
This is... So, I think that's probably the only reason they have it that far down on the list. If I were to guess. I mean, I don't know.
Sure.
I'm not these Oxford scientists, but if I were to guess. Bad local governance?
Bad
what the fuck?
Local?
I guess, yeah, that's what it says.
Is there a debriefing on that?
So this refers to 2 main categories of government disasters: failing to solve major solvable problems and actively causing worse outcomes. An example of the first.
So what? Fucking
this is
fucking a trailer park fucking committee.
Exactly, dude. This is that committee meeting we went to talk about.
Fucking Ricky over here. Ricky thinks. Ricky thinks that Trisha needs to shut her dumb cunt mouth.
Right.
I mean, what?
Yeah, dude. I don't know. You got me on that one.
So just a dumb government.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Pretty much, like, they're talking about essentially, like, failing to solve poverty, also
Baltimore.
constructing...
Detroit.
A global right, exactly. It's basically what's going on now. So
yeah. Okay.
All right. So global system collapse. So this refers to an economic or societal collapse on a global scale that involves civil unrest and breakdown of the law and order that makes the continuation of human life impossible on Earth.
Isn't that just kind of one of the effects to everything above?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
And then the last one is unknown consequences. So an umbrella category that represents all of the unknown unknowns, risks that we have not thought about or appear to be extremely unlikely in isolation.
These Oxford bitches, I would shove them in lockers. That's so lame.
Unknown. That's the last on the list. Unknown consequences. So
that's
something
so
might
lame.
kill us, but we don't know what it is. And
by my calculations, there's several other calculations that say there's a lot of unknown things that might do us in, and so that's.
I think they had to add that category because like Jerry in the back is extremely afraid of like spiders, and he's like, dude, they're gonna do us all in.
They're like, Jesus Christ, dude, I don't even know how. I don't
Jerry,
honestly.
Come on.
How did Jerry even get accepted? How did Jerry even get in? What? I heard his parents paid the place off.
Right.
I heard that his parents paid some dude named Singer to pretend like he was on the crew team.
Jerry's not allowed to the Skull and Bones meetings anymore. It's final. He's out of the club.
Captain Mike.
It's so funny. But yeah, so that's all of them. That's the 12 most likely, according to Oxford, that's the 12 most likely things that would cause apocalypse.
So this is what I would say. Based off of all of them, the end result is you need your bunker. You need your home base, right?
Yeah, dude, you got to store up, man. You got to pack up that granola bars. You got to get them MREs.
And so, do you think...
I'm not going to lie, dude. I have 2 boxes. I have, like, literally 2 cases of MREs in my house right now. I'm not... So, it's actually ironic you chose this because I'm kind of going prepper mode right now. I'm
not going prepper mode, but I like the idea of self-sustainability is my thing, and I see them being hand in hand. So I don't have any of that shit. What I do, like this week I'm gonna be buying a greenhouse just because, like, it's always been, I've had smaller ones that like fuck up each year, and I have to every year I add a little more to my garden. I just like the self-sustainability part.
By garden, you mean your pot plants, right? I mean, let's be honest.
I wish, dude.
You don't have to call it a greenhouse, dude.
I wish. I really
you don't
wish.
have to call it a greenhouse, bro.
I really wish.
You'll be growing some greenery in there, but
I'll tell you what, man. If I haven't smoked weed in probably the longest period of my life since we used to do those stupid, like, 30-day hiatuses, like, just because. The thing with our 30-day hiatuses, by the way, was, like, we were drinking cough syrup during those 30 days to get us through the 30 days. we were getting drunk as fuck. Like, so, but I just haven't smoked weed just because, like, I haven't even had time to, like, hit up the guy that I know or, like...
Yeah, sure.
And just, like, adulting is hard, especially with
Dude, the last time I smoked, which was quite a few years ago, just because, like, in the healthcare field, they drug test us, but last time I smoked, dude, was not a fan, honestly. Like, it was not how I remembered it being. I was super paranoid. I was worried about, like, my adult things, dude. Like, you know what I mean? I was worried about...
That can get to you for sure. My thing is, like, and it's been this way for a while now, and I don't know, maybe in the coming weeks I'll smoke again and I'll have a new take since it's been a while. But my thing now is I literally what we used to, like, take blunts to the face, like, you know what I mean, like, we used to smoke too much. what I've done for the past several years. Yeah. But what I've done for the past several years is like when I smoke, I like last summer, let's say, right? I would smoke a one hitter, right? I would just one hit out of the one hitter, and I'd go and I'd mow the lawn, and I'd do, the edging, like just like everything, like just and I can function like a normal human being. I'm not stressed about anything. I'm just focused because I didn't overdo it. And I think that's all it really is like just not ever overdoing it, So like, same with like that, just everything, like even alcohol. Like you can have 2 drinks and be fine. It's just like not just then diving in from there. And that's always kind of the urge that you need to resist, is diving in. If you haven't smoked yet, so if you take a hit and then wait 10 minutes, for me personally, I definitely don't need another hit right now, where if I haven't had any hits, I'd be like, I'll take a fucking bong rip right now. And that's the wrong fucking move, at least for me. Right. At least for me. And so,
totally.
It's just these real small amounts that, allow me to just stay focused, maybe listen in a little more on my podcast. It helps me kind of pull the curtains on, any sort of work stuff that's constantly on my mind. But it is a fine line. If you go too far, then the work stuff is all that's on your mind, because, then... It's not even that, you're not thinking about the work stuff, and then when the work stuff pops in your mind, that's where you go oh, it's that eureka moment. It's like, oh, fuck, did I forget to do something? It's like, no, you didn't. It's only been 30 minutes, and then the work stuff just popped back in your mind. It's not a big deal, However, we're getting off track here. Point being, I haven't smoked in a while. If I come across a seed, I will probably most certainly try to grow one in the greenhouse to, for as long as I can, until the wife finds out and throws a fit, which I don't think she would, because she doesn't. All the years previous, she's never fucking really stepped foot back there. So we'll see.
All right, good.
But those things. So something like that. The greenhouse I like a lot because of the self-sustainability. However, all that is then moving that to a bunker type of situation where you're still growing your own food, which I think is the most efficient way to survive, rather than just stockpiling, right? But you got to be real fucking savvy though. You still need a water supply. You still need either soil or some sort of fertilization, or just the hydroponics. Those balls or whatever, you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
There's these, especially the water. I think the water is life, right? So where does everyone get their water?
Walmart.
What? In it?
Well, that's where people get their water from.
I just mean when shit hits the fan, where do you get your water from?
Oh, well, yeah, therein lies the problem, man. You got to find clean water or a way to filtrate possibly dirty water.
I think that's the thing right there. You need to find a way to filter it, right? So I love the idea of there are people out there who have swimming pools. And there are doomsday preppers that have swimming pools, but attached to the swimming pool that no one fucking knows about is a filtration system. So if shit ever does hit the fan, they have a swimming pool's worth of water, at least.
And it would filter the chlorine out of it, too?
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that awesome?
That's amazing, yeah.
I think that is... Wow. I think that's an awesome setup.
All I have is a couple fucking life straws, dude. Have you seen those things before?
No. What is that?
It's called a life straw. It looks like a ginormous straw, but it has a really good filter in it, and literally you can just go to a stream and suck water out of the stream, and it filters it through.
I've heard of these, and that actually works.
Yeah, I mean, suppose I have 2 or 3 of them, supposedly. Yeah, I've never tried it, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a great first step. So here, so what do you?
In my backpack when I go hiking, just in case.
Well, that's smart.
I mean, you hear all the time about people going hiking and just never coming back. So I keep one in my backpack just in case. Yeah.
What do you personally? Well, so put yourself in someone else's shoes who have neither, right? So what would you do if like shit hit the fan tomorrow? Would you, or not even that, like just starting out now, right? So if you have $5,000 to spend on Doomsday prepping, would you get a generator, or would you bulk up on weapons?
Probably. I mean, like, I don't know that if I get just with those 2 choices, I would probably go with weapons. Because ultimately, like, electricity isn't something that I'm going to be, like, if I'm looking long term, electricity isn't something I'm going to be extremely concerned about. Like, weapons, on the other hand, not only are they good to have just, like, to protect yourself and, like, what you have, but also, like, for trading. Like, ammo specifically. Yeah. I always tell people, like, you can have 40 guns, dude, but if you don't have ammo for them, like, it's a paperweight.
Yeah.
Like, ammo is what people will need if shit was to hit the fan. There's plenty
What
of
do you
guns.
think of, so there's someone I know that is this fucking doomsday prepper. He built a house on a lake, like, is synced up to this lake in case anything goes wrong, and he has an ungodly amount of just scrap sterling silver. What do you think of the sterling silver bit, though? Like, that is like what he envisions as the trade, like the what's the word I'm looking for? The monetary system. Like, that's like his.
I don't get it, because here's the thing, dude. If the world, like, let's say, like,
who fucking cares about your silver, right?
Right, exactly. It's food, water, ammunition, dude. I'm telling you, those are the most valuable things that will be, dude, food, top of the list, probably water, then food, then ammunition. Those are going to be the 3 most, in my opinion, the 3 most valuable things if, like, society completely collapses. Like, I'm talking complete collapse of society. Those are going to be the most. I mean, maybe steel. I could see steel, but I just think, silver? Well, what the fuck are you going to do with silver?
I just think any sort of metal, not even like just any sort of metal, fine. But like, that's because you could then potentially melt that down into more ammo, like at some point, whenever like all the ammo's gone, right? I don't know. Like,
silver's soft though. Silver's soft as fuck.
Well, yeah, no. I'm not saying silver. I'm just saying like any steel, fine. I'm just saying any metal, I guess. Like.
Yeah, I'm thinking like steel. You can make tools out of steel. You can make weapons out of steel. Like, I could see steel, but silver, dude, I don't think so. No, I don't. I mean, I don't buy it. I don't know.
It's
odd.
I
don't see why it would be.
And
I don't know if I would buy on that guy's thing. Yeah.
And then what would you do, shelter-wise? Are you just trying to like find like do you stay where you're at currently? Do you try to find a silo type of place? Like, what is it?
I would say probably, like, I mean, unless you have someplace pre-set up where, like, you have a bunch of supplies, the best thing to do would be shelter in place for as long as possible until you expend all of your resources you have saved up. You know what I mean? Like, all the food, water you have saved, like, all of that shit. I would say shelter in place until, like, you've used up your resources and you have to go out. Because at this point, the world's going to be a dangerous fucking place.
Right.
It's the fucking wild, wild west, dude. Humanity at its worst, in my opinion.
So, like me, I have a basement, so do I board up all of my upstairs? So that's another good question. Like, do you have enough shit? Like, should you get enough lumber to be able to board up your upstairs?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think about that, but I'll tell you this. Like I said, I mean, I have because we just kind of like calculated it today, my wife and I, just to be like on the safe side in case they do ask us to self-quarantine. Like we have probably between the two of us, about 2 months worth of food, and then we have about 60 gallons of water at this point.
Really? Just bottled water?
Yeah. We have just like jugs of water, like the big jugs and then the gallon jugs. Like we have like the big jugs, like that you put on like
right.
One of the like things in the office, you know what I mean? Like the water dispenser, and then just gallon jugs. But yeah, we have about 60 gallons and then about 2 months worth of food.
But so even with the water, like if they ask you to self-quarantine, why are you concerned about the water?
Because, I mean, the theory is if things were to get like really bad and like workers weren't able to go to work, like we could see like times where they possibly like we did not have running water or electricity for that matter.
That's fine.
Or like if there's a boil warning on water and shit like that because of like the lack of employees running the filtrations, you know what I mean? Like the places that like filter our water and pump our water, like we could see droughts in that water. Because you got to think, it's not always going to be like, especially like with the coronavirus thing, which is what I'm currently worried about, it's not going to be necessarily about people dying, but people too sick to get to the jobs like they're supposed to be doing. Like it makes the country run.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why I'm stocking up on water.
Yeah, I'm pretty behind on the water.
Yeah, get some water, dude. But like, I'm saying by the first time that like some of the like we have patients testing positive in our state, like it's gonna be. Have you seen Washington? Have you seen the videos of people like in the stores in Washington,
it's insane,
waiting in line for bananas and like fighting over water? And...
Yeah, that's. I don't know. I get the scare. I just think it's fucking ridiculous, though. Like, and
then also, dude. Sorry, I just want to add gasoline. That's another big thing. We've got a ton of gasoline. We've stocked up on a lot of, like for our vehicles.
Really?
Because if there's nobody running the gas stations.
Yeah.
So we have like, I don't know, maybe 20 gallons of gas or so, maybe a little more, but about 20 gallons of gas in gas cans right now.
I feel like I'm not too far from a gas station where like I would just I just siphon gas out of the gas station. Like,
yeah, dude. I mean, like,
I'd be walking. You'd find me walking up my road 1 a.m. with my fucking gardening hose, my 50-foot gardening hose.
Dude, you're just walking up in your boxers, dude, and like combat boots.
I'm just doing what I gotta do,
machete, dude. A hose and a machete, dude.
I'd be purposely have the machete in my mouth, just biting down on that blade.
Like, just paint under your eyes, dude. Like, fucking great, dude. Just only your face, like painted camo. Everything else, just like buck naked, except for boxers, combat boots, camo face paint, and maybe a helmet. You need to get a helmet, and then you'd be good to go. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So craziness, man. I don't know. I think ultimately the moral of the story is like, people make fun of preppers, sure. Do I think that like if shit were to hit the fan, they would have the last laugh, for sure.
Yeah, but for how long? That's the thing. Is like once your supply runs dry, what do you do? That's why again I go back to the self-sustainability part. Like that's
and I totally agree with that. I think that is preferable if you can find a way to do that. Like the farmers are for sure going to be the ones living longest, dude, for sure. Yeah,
to a point. I mean, they can't depend on their crops outside. You know what I mean? Like you need. Not even farmers, it's these fucking pot dealers who have warehouses full of shit. Like, those are the guys that are going to be fine because they're like, well, god damn it, got to swap these pot plants out for fucking tomatoes and cucumbers. You know, like, They're going to be the ones.
Yeah, but here's the thing: do they know how to grow that stuff? Because there is different stuff with gardening. I mean, there is.
You know, you're absolutely right. But probably if they know how to check the pH level to make sure your weed's growing well, like chances are.
But if there's no internet, how are they looking at? You know what I mean? Like that's why
fair.
I'm thinking the farmers, because they have that knowledge. You know what I mean? The farmers
they have that knowledge, but they don't have. I don't think they have the inside grow system, right? Like.
And here's actually this brings me at least to a great point. I think ultimately it's going to be depending on each other. It's just like a community. Like you're going to have a small community that has different knowledge bases. I think that's why some of these like prepper groups are such a good idea, because they have people who are doctors. They have people who
wait. Tell me about a prepper group. What is this?
Yeah, dude, yes. And they are all... They go to the gun shows I go to, dude.
What?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wait, what is a prepper group other than a cult that's trying to not get to their final day?
It's less like a cult, more like adult Boy Scouts is how I see it. Like, that's how it seems to me. Yeah. They get together and they talk about how to make knots. Dude, they talk about how to make knots or how to trap animals or how to, dude, yeah. And I mean, think about this: preppers on their own, powerful. A group of preppers, dude, like,
get out of here.
Ultimately, the people, dude, they have in our state a prepper ball. Like a ball, like it's a convention.
What?
And like a dress-up ball. Yes, it's called the Preppers Ball.
I hope there's not only one out of this. I hope there's not only one in America, because you just gave our state away.
Well, you know, I mean, I feel like we're dropping little Easter eggs, and it's kind of fun.
That's fine. Let them figure it out. But
that's what I mean. It's kind of fun, right? But yeah, dude, I mean, like, there's like full prepper groups that. That's what they do, dude. They have a plot of land they go to. They have a plan in place if something were to go wrong.
I wanna go to this prepper ball. Can we go?
Dude, we should do a podcast from.
I'm not kidding.
Ball.
I'm not kidding. I really, really, really want to go to this.
I'll find out when it is this year. Yeah, for sure, dude.
Yeah,
like I'm all about it. Yeah, yep.
That's amazing.
But I'm actually friends with like a group of people who are in a prepper group. Like they want me to join because I'm a nurse and they need somebody like medical. And I'm just like, I don't have the time to devote to doing it.
Are you just like, listen,
really nice people,
I'm already on
really
borrowed
cool
time.
People.
Like you're gonna.
Right, exactly.
We're gonna get
but
there.
I mean, like, they're really cool, nice people that are just like, but their hobby is to prepare for the end of the world, essentially. Yeah.
See, now I don't know if I want to spend every waking minute doing that, you know, but like I would like to, like, I'd be down to like sit down for one night and be like, here's our list of stuff that we need, and then we meet back up next month same time after we have all the shit and we put it into place, and then like, and that's that. Like, why do we need to...
That's kind of what they do. I mean, like, I think, you know what I mean? I don't think they spend every waking moment, but, like, I think that's more or less what they do. They have monthly meetings. They have, like, for sure, because they've invited me to their monthly meetings and stuff before. Yeah, for sure, that's what they...
Well, what do you cover in a monthly meeting? Is it just like, well, our gas is going bad, so we're going to have to replace the gas. We got 1,000 gallons, and world hasn't ended yet. So anybody need to be topped off here, or is this just 1,000 gallons of gas that's done?
Well, from my understanding, like every month they have like one of the people teach something different. So, like I said, one month they might have the guy who's
until
like
they get down to fucking origami. Like, well, if you're looking at past time.
Exactly. Like, but yeah, they have one guy that teaches like how to trap, like, and that's what they'll talk about that month is different trapping techniques. And then the next month
also no. This is my point. It's like, but I don't want to know that just yet because we're in the group. Like, that's why we have you in this group.
Yeah, I think it's just to share the knowledge. I mean, dude, like I said, that's kind of their pastime, I think. Like, the way I see it, I think it's cool, but I think it's more like I mean, it's got to be more of a hobby. I guess they would probably call it a lifestyle, but like that's what it seems like to me. It's like kind of it's just something fun to. They have their group of friends. You know what I mean?
They would have me come up, and I'd be like, well, so if you ever find yourself in a spot where you can't find where Ron left the corkscrew, and you got this bottle of wine. So you can put the bottle of wine in your shoe and bang it up against the wall to make the cork fall out.
Right. Exactly. Today we're going to learn about what you can eat that will make you high, dude. Like, these are some legal We're going to find out how to distinguish an edible mushroom that is psychedelic.
I hope you all learned something. We're going to bring up Earl. We're going to teach you how to skin a deer.
Yeah, dude. Like that's. I mean, I love it. I think, but like joking aside, I mean, like that would be the best case scenario, right? To be involved in a community like that.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. No, that makes the most sense. That's what I would want. But also, like, that's kind of like, that's no different than, like, me not prepping, like, I'm not prepping for a doomsday. I would just love for all of my best friends to live on the same street as me. Like, that, like...
Yeah, oh, yeah, for
you know,
sure.
That's no different to me, because at the end of the day, I would love for all of my best friends to live on the same street as me. I'd love for all of us to work like on each other's gardens and help each other throw up solar panels for their houses. Like, what's the difference?
So you're saying you want to start a cult again, dude?
See, here it is. Here it is again. No.
Dude, we're going back to you starting a cult, dude. I swear. You come back
it's not a fucking cult.
You wanting to start a cult.
I just want my friends to be around. God damn
I just want everybody to be together and wear black robes together. And
listen, I'm not. Listen, as long as no one's wearing whatever the fuck Kanye West puts out, then I'm fine.
Oh, dude, so fucking good. So good. But that being said, let me throw a PSA in here. I just want to throw a quick PSA because I think it is worth mentioning.
Do it.
I think it's good for every family just to have, like, an emergency plan. Like, if something were to go wrong, here's where we meet up. Here's, you know what I mean? If we can't call each other, here's where we all go.
Yep.
Here's what we all do. Here's what you need to grab. Here's what you need to grab. Here's what you need to grab. You know what I mean?
So
just
give an example, though. Give an example, though, right? So you say if something happens, this is where we all meet up. Like, someone would say, like, our house? Like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, okay, so, like, my family has a plan that if, like, shit were to hit the proverbial
don't give away your shit. Like,
no, I'm not.
Okay.
But if they were, like, my parents and, like, myself and my wife would go to my grandmother's house because that's the most secluded area.
Yeah.
That's where my brother lives.
Yeah.
So we would all be together. Like, I know that I would bring all of my supplies as well as my firearms, like, bring all that stuff with me. So would my family, and like that's like we would go there to meet up. Like that's where we are all meeting up. Like something simple like that. Like it doesn't have to be, you know what I mean? Just like if you weren't able to call, where is everybody gonna go? Like just something.
You guys would all be like in the living room, and you'd hear some crash in the back room, and like you'd fucking walk back there with a gun and find me climbing through your window, like
climbing through the fucking.
I'd be like, I still got it. I still got it.
I knew that's where you're going with the motherfucker, dude. I think it's safe to throw in the story real quick. There was not even just one time, but a reoccurring theme in my life growing up was Jake would climb through the window of my house because they were always unlocked, drunk as fuck.
They were it's the easiest house to break into.
Until you broke the thing that you climbed on. What the fuck was it even? It was like a hose.
Yeah, it was the
hose, like holder.
Yeah, the thing that like you would use to like reel in the hose. Like it had a winding thing, you know. And so I would stand on the handle to get up, and I snapped that handle one night.
Yeah, and made it significantly harder. So yeah. But yeah, good times, man. I think that's I think that's a good way to wrap up the end of the world, is with you climbing into. I wouldn't see the end of the world going down any other way except for you climbing in.
Oh, dude,
in my room.
If shit like really, really goes down, I just need to figure out how to get. I got to figure out how to get to that house.
Yeah. I want to see a movie, a short film where that's like the whole plot.
Is
like
me getting from where I'm at.
Chaos everywhere. Exactly. You getting to me, and like people don't know where you're trying to get to. Like the whole film, it's just like like I gotta get here. I gotta. Like you're fighting and killing people.
Yeah, because like I got my family with me. Like I'm dragging my fucking family through a one major city in between the both of us. You know what I mean? Like.
Right. It's just a war zone, dude. Like. And all to just climb through, like that's the climax of the film. It's just you climb through the window.
I would be really interested to know, like, my wife's family, like, who they know south of where we live. Like, there's probably definitely some crazy motherfuckers that they know.
Oh yeah, probably.
Just in the state south of me, like, there's no way that they don't.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I would assume. Yeah. Well.
Yeah, man.
I don't know, man. I don't have anything else to add to this episode, do you?
No, I don't think so. I think, again, it comes down to figuring out your water supply. I think that's the biggest one. Yep. Water supply.
Yeah.
Because if you want to be self-sufficient and just self-sustainable, you need that water. So how do you filtrate even your own waste, like your piss? Like how do you filtrate that? You know, you need to figure out all of that. How to catch rainwater? Is the rainwater?
Yeah, that's a big one.
Is there? Yeah, but like the thing is, like depending on what happened, is there radiation?
Sulfur water from the super volcano.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Yeah,
you know, so like. All those things need, you need a really, really good filtration system, regardless. And then from that, like, obviously, food. I think food comes next after water. And then from there, I don't know, kind of, like, tied with both is, like, just being, weapons, being able to protect yourself from either lunatics or to hunt, whatever it is. So.
Yeah, sure.
And shelter, shelter somewhere there.
Again, I think, shelter and community, dude. I think those are the hallmarks.
Community is huge for sure. Community is definitely huge because you need, you need to make sure that you're not the slowest person. That's all.
And you got people with different skill sets. You don't have to depend on yourself for knowing everything. You know what I mean? Like, you can be just specialized in, like, whatever it is that you know stuff about. You have other people who are specialized in other areas. You know what I mean? Like, you have that broad base of skill sets. So.
Yep.
I think those are the pillars of survival in the apocalypse, yeah. Well.
Yeah, man. I think that does it. I think that was a solid episode.
I agree.
Everyone out there
should go and check out our social media for sure.
That's exactly what I was getting to.
We're on, Twitter. Hit us up. It's at SYWSOL.
Yep.
That's where you'll find us.
Yep.
Shoot us a tweety tweet.
Please, dude, just fucking follow us, would you? Because we have no way of self-promoting. So we were at 3. We're back down to 2. Clearly we're saying some wrong shit, but that's what we're supposed to do. Just give us a follow.
Yeah.
Give us a retweet. I was on there last night because did well with some fights that happened last night. So that was cool. That was cool.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Aside from that, email us SYWSOL pod. That's SYWSOLPOD at gmail.com. Hit us up. Just ask questions.
Yeah, and if you're a prepper, let us know what you do to
Absolutely.
prepare. That would be great. If you have any tips for us, we might even mention them on an upcoming show. So drop us a line, and we'll definitely give you guys a shout out.
Do it.
So.
Do it. Please do it. Because here's the thing. We see the downloads. We see that there's plenty of people listening. It's just weird that none of these people have a Twitter to go ahead and hit that follow button.
Yeah.
But
yeah, man, maybe they hate social media as much as we do.
I mean, that's the thing. Maybe we are proving it to ourselves that social media doesn't actually matter.
Yeah, right there, man. Yeah, we're not big fans of the social media. So
we did it because we felt like it was necessary. But like right now, the numbers they're not in Twitter's favor.
Yes, yeah. Twitter can suck a dick.
Twitter can suck 2 dicks.
I hope John Dorsey's listening.
Jack Dorsey?
That's cool.
John.
His brother John.
His brother John was I believe he was something with football, I believe.
I don't even know. I was just making that up. I don't know if he has I was just covering my ass for making the mistake of calling him John instead of Jack.
No, I'm pretty sure John Dorsey was a football guy.
John, dude.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they're.
Is that for real? Is that for real, dude? If so, I'm so happy.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I can't say if they're brothers or not, but I'm pretty sure John Dorsey was something with football, something NFL related.
Oh yeah, wasn't hang on. Was it Browns related?
Yep. Yeah, he was the
GM.
He was the GM of the.
I'm not very good with sports trivia, but right there, man, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I impressed myself, dude. I dug deep into my not very deep sports knowledge and whipped that one out.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go.
That's definitely what it is. Yeah. Again, probably not related. Jack Dorsey, however, is the guy you want.
Well, he can suck a dick too.
Yep.
They can all suck dicks. All right, man. Well, that's probably music rolling time, but
it's true.
Thanks everybody for listening.
Yes.
Go check us out on Twitter. We love that, and if not, then you can suck a dick too. So take it easy, everybody. We'll see you next week.
All right. Take care. Later.
Mike out.
Jake out.